Warning. This video contains super awesome content not suitable for people who don't enjoy super awesomeness. Viewer discretion advised.
The wrestling podcast that sets all other podcasts apart. Covering news from the world of WWE, AEW, TNA, and more. Your favorite weekly episodic podcast, Ramblers Unleashed, starts now.
Oh, it's your Tuesday night delight. Ramblers Unleashed is on the air of youtube.com/Ramblers Unleashed. And welcome to it. It's a terrific Tuesday. And we have one hell of a show lined up for you. Of course, we're going to give you our Royal Rumble predictions because we are officially on the road to Russell fucking Mania. I am stoked. But first and foremost, let me do what we always do before we get into the stuff that we got to talk about, and that is introducing the rest of the fellers. First and foremost, let me introduce my best friend, the person who would never even think about eating Culver's without any of us, especially me. And he's the only guy that I know who pops bigger for Joel Gertner than any of us, the Traders. Can address him as Mr. Magus, but you and I can call him the mighty Maximus Magus. Golfers clap. Best friend, how are you, buddy?
You know, after getting stabbed in the back, I did a lot of thinking, and I want everybody to know tonight is fight night.
Hey! Oh! Look at that.
You sexy peach.
I can't have a fight with as much hair as I had, so I had to get rid of it, so I was ready for the tag team match to end all tag team matches taking place this weekend.
That's my tag team partner, by the way. I love this guy.
You guys are cooked. You guys are fucked.
You sweet it, buddy. You got it. Hold on. You got it, Max. You got to too sweet it. There you go. Boom. Love it. Love it. That's my tag team partner, man. You guys are screwed. I don't know.
You missed Max. Dude,
Huh?
you missed a spot.
Oh, I usually do. I do it so I throw people like you off. So during the fight, you'll be distracted by that. So I'll just kick your ass.
No, the only thing. See, I have a special method to my madness when I do, wax the dome and everything like that. You see, and you're not used to that. You're not used to that. So if anything's going to get me, it's going to be that horrible glare.
Oh,
Listen.
Oh, it's
I
terrible.
had to put off the shave for a while because I'm working for a new company. But it's gone. It's going to stay gone.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah. You just chill, J-Bone. You don't pick on my best friend.
Hey, I'm just trying to help, man.
You don't chill. You just leave him alone.
If you need any tips, Max, you just call me, man. I've been doing this for over 2 decades.
Here's the thing. I think you need to listen to my tag team partner and stop running your mouth, because if you don't, we're going to stop running it for you.
Oh.
J-Bone, I don't know what the fuck you got me into, bro. All I wanted to do is take you out, get you some fucking Culvers. You got me in a fucking fight this weekend, and fuck, dude. Let's go, I guess.
Yeah.
You know what? Speaking of my tag team partner, the man without whom there would be no such thing as the Ramblers, ladies and gentlemen, my best friend, Dizzy.
Oh, golfers clap for that. Thank you so much. I appreciate that, Max. That was gorgeous. Thank you. That was beautiful. Appreciate you. I guess we need to introduce the other two, though, right?
This bromance was not on my cards for 2025. That's all I'm going to throw out there. What the hell happened? The tables have turned.
Speak for yourself.
Row, if you look at the bottom row, you'll see Backstabber 1, who's also our producer, and Backstabber 2, who I used to call my favorite on the show. Ladies and gentlemen, it's, J-Bone and the Baron.
I did write up little special introductions for them.
Oh, let's hear this. Let's do this.
Next
I
up,
love when you write up something special.
Next up, the person whose catchphrase is and will always be Baron, please.
420.
Well, he is the one who gets higher than planes, hates AEW more than anyone that I know, and who hand feeds Culver's to J-Bone on a picnic without his other two podcast mates. He is the Baron Golfers Clap. Baron, hi.
Hey guys, how's it going? I'm off guard with all this. I used to be the favorite on the show between everybody. I was the good guy and everything.
How's that feel? How's it feel?
I feel hurt. I actually feel stabbed in the back. Dizzy, after 15 years of knowing you, to lose the title as the best friend on the show, it hurts, man. And I am just going to drink myself away tonight.
Over a silly thing like cheese curd.
Culver's. Fucking Culver's.
Don't even
it's not that good, guys. It's not that good.
Don't you even.
It's not that great.
Even, sir.
It depends on who's cooking it. I can say our restaurant doesn't. Chef's kiss.
Yeah, I feel like I get something wrong every time I go to Culver's. And I hate to bring it up every time, but I'm so sick of waiting in that fucking extra line to get my food. It annoys me. That's that.
You just got to come up by me, bro. It's
all right. Whenever I'm up that way and I get that discount, I'll be there.
Yeah, get the discount. Rub it in. Anyway, Max, we'll go off. We'll go from the desk of Max Mages later on.
Did you guys get your Coupstons yet?
No,
you didn't.
No, Max, did you get yours?
No, I have seen not hide nor hair of coupons.
We got shit.
Oh wait, Max, you don't have a Culver's by you, do you?
Yes, I do.
Yes.
I have one about a block away from me.
In Colorado?
Look, hold on. I called Culver's and I said you need to install Culver's a block away or as close as you can to my best friend Max Mages.
And you got it done. It's built. It's open. It's taking business.
It's in business and it's going very, very, very well.
Well, because it's freaking from Wisconsin with love,
and because they know Max Mages wanted his Culver's, and if they didn't deliver that damn Culver's, that I would be there with chair in hand, and I told him that.
Yeah. I told him that. Just like we're going to show up at Baron's house with chair in hand.
Absolutely.
See, that's not a way to get coupons.
I don't know though, Max.
Take it easy.
I don't know though, Max, because his dog is kind of vicious.
Yeah, all 22 pounds of a purebred fucking beagle. Let me tell you, I hope you come inside this house because she's gonna rip you a new asshole.
I've met her, okay? I've met her.
She's calmer now because she's 12 years old, Dizzy. So she's like, fuck you, I ain't got time for your shit.
I'm just gonna walk the fuck away.
Yep.
I got a buddy out here. I used to dog sit for him a couple times a year. He'd either go hunting or he'd go on a work trip. I'd spend the week at the house dog sitting his beagle and his other dogs. I knew how to get around that beagle and get right to her heart. All I had to do was show up with some French fries, and she was happy.
It doesn't matter. Food in general, you could rob our house and bring a fucking slice of cheese, and she would not alert us that we're getting robbed. Simple as that.
Like, that. I got Gouda, motherfucker.
Yep. Nope. We're fucked. Love her, but we're screwed on home invasions because she's not going to do anything if you bring food.
Well, Baron, we got your buzzkill moment later on in the program as well. Finally, Max, we need to introduce the producer of the show, another trader who likes to gift Baron Culver's while giving Max and I the finger, laughing maniacally as they all skip off hand in hand to the park. But you know, Max, without his wonderful missus, the lovely Mrs. J-Bone, who gifts us his time. And by the way, Mrs. J-Bone, that check in the chair is in the mail for the you-know-what from Max and I. Please take care of that for us, please. Ladies and gentlemen.
She's asleep. I'm going to check.
She'll hear it back on replay. She'll hear it back. And she's waiting she knows all about it. She knows all about it. Ladies and gentlemen, golfers clap for J-Bone. Yeah. Anyway,
should we give a shout out to the fifth member of the podcast?
Who is the fifth member of the podcast?
The viewers.
The viewers. Yes, absolutely. Big golfers clap for the viewers. Big time. We love you. Please hit that subscribe button if you're new here, and hit the like, and that tells YouTube that you like what we're doing, and suggests our video to more people, to more wrestling fans. Hopefully you're having a good week, fellas. I hope you're having a good week, especially my best friend Max. We got our Royal Rumble predictions coming up soon, but let's dive into what we've got today, shall we? And we started off with, of course, WWE news, and Raw. Monday Night Raw on Netflix has been an absolute groundbreaking, as the move to the streaming platform has been fairly smooth for the company. They saw strong numbers on the debut of January 6th, but we're already 3 weeks into Raw being on Netflix. But after the debut, how have the numbers been? Now we know. January 6th garnered approximately 5.9 million global views for the debut of Monday Night Raw, ranking a top 10 spot for WWE. On January 13th, that garnered approximately 3.7 million global views, giving Raw a number 4 ranking.
Oh, that's better than what I heard, but hey, all right.
Yeah, on that gave him a number 4 ranking on Netflix's top 10. And last week, that garnered approximately 3 million global views, giving Raw a number 7 ranking on Netflix's top 10. Now, despite the drop in viewership, Raw does remain a top performing show globally, ranking in the top 10 in 6 countries. So this is strong. This is good news for the company, and it's just really refreshing to see that. Now, Barry, I don't know if it's the whole world. I don't know exactly what they mean by global, but I do know that that's what they're calling it. But maybe it is around the world. It could be around the world.
Well, I know, like, if I tune into Netflix right now and go to the Raw page, it says number 1 on TV. So
which is good. You know.
Oh yeah.
I just pulled up Netflix and scrolled down to the top 10. It is number 1 right now.
That's awesome. That's great. I mean, that means people are watching it. People are watching the replays, and they're giving us good content. I mean,
what was their viewership for this latest one, or whatever?
Latest one for last week, approximately 3 million views.
All right, so we didn't hear last night's yet.
We haven't. No, we don't have last night's viewership.
Okay. So 3 million views. Okay.
After
to me, that's
like 700,000, right? Is my Steiner math correct?
That they've lost from the previous week. I think so. I don't know how that's rated though, because it's all on. You know what I'm saying? It's just it's weird how they're gonna figure out those numbers, because like a weekly normal show on USA, you get the viewership, whatever. That's that.
Yeah.
I think
Netflix, you get the replay.
Yeah, but I think Netflix is a different animal, and I really don't understand it.
It's not. I mean, you can't do it by Nielsen's, because Netflix is not part of that. So yeah,
this is in my personal opinion, on a Netflix rating 3 million, I would say that's a low number. However, I feel, I mean, like for wrestling though, on Netflix, that's a good number.
Yeah,
I'm just thinking on the broad spectrum of all Netflix shows and live programs, it's it's kind of low, but still for wrestling, that's good. I mean,
two things I want to point out. 2 things. First off, Nielsen did start tracking DVR data. So, for example, I'm at work Monday night. I mean, I'm not, but let's say I'm at work Monday night, and so I DVR it. I come home and I watch it later or the next day or whatever. Nielsen started counting that if it got watched via the DVR. I don't know when, but they said that it should count because we're watching it first run, even though we couldn't get to it right away. Mm-hmm. Secondly, I'd like to point out that this is about 2.5 million more viewers than AEW's been getting.
Yeah, and we're going to dive into Collision numbers coming up just a little bit later on. But Saturday night's main event was filled with exciting moments too and great matches, bringing fans a lot of nostalgia and action. But Their viewership numbers are now out, and it's sparking a lot of discussion among fans. According to WrestleNomics, the episode garnered 1.494 million viewers with 0.33 in the key 18 to 49 demographic. This reflects a decrease in viewership, but an increase in the key demo from the December 14th, 2024 edition, which brought in 1.59 million viewers with a 0.42 demo rating. The night included moments like Shawn Michaels giving Kevin Owens some sweet chin music after attempting a pile driver, and Gunther retained his championship against Jey Uso. Now, guys, while the inflection of viewerships is still on the minds of WWE officials, Saturday Night Main Event is still a show that seems to be catching a lot of attention with fans because, Baron, of the nostalgia of the show. And people, I mean, nostalgia is in right now.
Yeah, I mean, I guess so. I never, I mean, I've watched wrestling for years, 30 years of my life. I don't think I ever really got in or understood Saturday Night's Main Event. It's not like anything that I'm just going to watch because of the name.
Yeah.
But all the shows have been solid. Like every show they've had has been really, really good.
Right. Baron, I think we're having some audio issues with you, buddy. Could you...
What's going on here, bud?
It's a little choppy. Sounds like you're in a helicopter.
I'll be right back. Let's see.
All right. Sounds good. Yeah, it sounds good, man. But J-Bone, we continue the discussion with you. This is, I mean, do you think that's what fans really wanted with Saturday night's Main Event? Back on the air?
I think there is a dose of nostalgia that a certain key graphic of, number of fans like myself is going to be attracted to. Saturday night's Main Event garnered a lot of viewers back in the day, and it was a significant amount. I don't remember what it was, but it was like record breaking stuff.
Well, yeah, I mean, it was huge because in the 80s, you really didn't have that much wrestling on TV. As far as I can remember, I was born in 85, so I really started paying attention to it around 89, 90, something like that. But
right.
As far as I know, and listeners, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think there was a lot of 80s like wrestling shows in the 80s on TV. You had the territories still active and stuff, and WWF was the number one national rated show. But I don't think
it had to do with kind of where you were. And if you had cable and whatever, and that was the cable boom back then.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, and they're bringing back a few legends. I wasn't really excited to see DiBiase and those guys. Don't get me wrong, I appreciate them, but it's like stuff like that. You want to bring back Ventura for his voice. That's one thing, because Ventura's voice is iconic.
Mm-hmm.
I wish they would feature him a little more, or maybe something happened and they didn't have him on TV as much or something. Maybe I missed it. I don't know. But yeah, man, the card was epic.
Yeah.
Especially what they're doing with Jacob Fatu, how they featured him on the show. That blew fans' minds, I think. If there was going to be anything to take away from that, it was going to be, and that's why I put it on the cover, that he destroyed the monster. That's a huge step in his WWE career right there.
Yeah, exactly. Max, I think a lot of fans, and I know you're probably reading Barry's comment as to what he said. While Saturday Night Main Event remains a novelty, should do okay, but if that shine diminishes, will people still watch? Max, what do you think about that, man?
Personally, I think if you keep Jesse the Body Ventura on there, you will still have a strong core of people wanting to watch it. It's got wrestling and it's got Jesse the Body. And those of us that grew up with Jesse the Body, it's a great feeling to hear him calling matches again. Unfortunately, due to stupidity on the part of a certain person, we're no longer going to hear him out there insulting McMahon. But what we did get this past week was Jesse the Body making fun of Steiner math, which we'll discuss later in further detail.
Yes.
But I also want to point out, nostalgia is, while J-Bone made the comment that he didn't really need to see DiBiase, nostalgia is always in. There's always an audience for the nostalgia side of things, especially in the wrestling world. Having the guys like DiBiase out there, and there were a couple other the old guys over the course of this, that it's been fun. Don't get me wrong. Hey, look, they look healthy. But it also, for a guy like me, is it kind of sucks because I know that I'm not going to see some of my favorites in the ring again. I enjoyed watching these guys work back in the day. DiBiase was one of my favorite moments with DiBiase. There's a lot of people out there that'll call it cruel, but it was the basketball moment with the kid. That was to me that defined him as a heel.
Yeah, that's what I was going to bring up. Like that moment was iconic for Saturday Night Main Event when he was with Vince and they did they took the basketball away from the kid for what I think it was $100, $500, something like that.
He had to bounce it 100 times to get $100, and on number 99, DiBiase stuck his foot under.
I think it was.
That's too bad.
No, he had to bounce it like 10 times.
Yeah, 10 times. Yeah.
10 times for $100 or whatever, something like that. And he got up to 9 and then he kicked the ball. And I watched that one live and I was like, and the look on the kid's face, like, you mother.
Yeah.
And to show you how much I love nostalgia, there's a video of Mean Gene, Mike Tenay, Bobby Heenan, Tony Schiavone, and I can't remember who the fifth guy was. It wasn't Zbyszko. And they're kind of sitting in a sound stage, and they're talking about, and this may have been after the premiere of Nitro or the next night or something like that. And I sat through it. I hate Schiavone. I don't know if I've mentioned that on here, but I cannot stand Schiavone.
I think
I sat twice. Huh?
I think you have once or twice.
Yeah. I'll add him to my F the Hogan list. But they were sitting there and they were talking about the premiere of Nitro. And they were all talking about how great it was. They're like, oh, Pillman was there. He had the first match against Jushin Thunder Liger, blah, blah, blah. And they asked Bobby the Brain, what were your thoughts on the first Nitro? He goes, we're in this mall where these people just finished their shopping and they're shoplifting and they're walking through the crowds and they're pickpocketing people. Some people may have made a good haul that night. And then all of a sudden he stops. He goes, I'm missing my wallet. I mean, guys, that was more than, what was that, almost 30 years ago that debuted? And I still sat there through that whole thing and loved it. And Bobby the Brain makes it, but it was great.
Yeah. By the way, Baron, welcome back, buddy.
Hey, can you guys hear me all right?
Yeah, I can hear.
Thank you.
You sound gorgeous, man. You sound beautiful. Well, we move on. We love to hear your thoughts on what you think about Saturday night's main event, but we got to move on. We have a big piece of news to share with you. Jordynne Grace is in the news, and she just penned a multi-year deal with WWE, and the deal was said to have happened right after Jordynne's departure from TNA. Chris Van Vliet asked Jordynne on his podcast why she got to the point where she felt it was okay to leave TNA. Grace explained that she's been with TNA since 2018 and had always re-signed her contract without letting it expire in the past. She was uncertain about what would happen next or feared that no other promotion would sign her. However, after an incredible 2024, she now feels more confident in her career. Grace believes she accomplished nearly everything possible in TNA and sees this as the right time to move forward. Letting her contract expire was a deliberate decision as she looks ahead to new opportunities with WWE and in professional wrestling. And guys, we've been talking about this for a long time. This is how it should be handled. Promotions like NXT and TNA, they're developmental brands. They help you build into a better performer. You spend time there, you build yourself, you learn, you develop, and get ready for the eyes of folks like WWE. This is where Ring of Honor and AEW are failing big time, Max.
Oh, failing big time is not the right words for it. You know, that's not epic enough to explain the issues there, but we'll come back to that. Honestly, I don't think TNA technically, I mean, under this new deal, you can consider that, but I don't technically think TNA should be considered developmental. TNA has stood on their own for a while. They've not been at the level that they wish to be, but maybe they'll get back there, especially with this new deal. However, you do make a good point. The people that have been working in TNA are basically being worked with as though they're on the same level as NXT, which is why Fraxium was the team they had sit at ringside during Genesis during the tag title match, you know. And so this is a jumping springboard from what you're doing. And no matter how much you're enjoying TNA, and as no matter how much I think they deserve to be considered a top tier promotion, the truth of the matter is they haven't quite elevated back up yet. And that's why you're seeing people like Jordynne Grace signing a deal with WWE. That's why Joe Hendry, no matter what that guy over there says, is going to be signing a deal with a solo deal with the WWE, not just this dual unique contract that he has going. We knew that Jordynne was going to sign, though. There's no surprise there. I look forward to see what she brings to the WWE women's division.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think this is an exciting time for Jordynne Grace, Baron, and it just goes to show that TNA did her right as far as training her and getting her ready for, because I think they knew in the long run they couldn't hold on to a talent like Jordynne Grace, especially, you know, when you get more talent, when you get that experience under your belt, you're going to be asking for more money, and I don't think TNA was going to be able to pay what Jordynne wanted.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't give TNA all the props. I think you got to give the props to Jordynne Grace. I think she,
well, yeah,
you know, I think she developed herself, and that's the beauty of TNA. They're allowing everyone to be themselves and do what they want to do. There's not, you know what I'm saying? It's not like a juggernaut like a WWE where, you know, you're given these guidelines to do this as a character. TNA, for me, when I'm watching, I feel like they all have open range to do whatever they want. So that's the beauty of TNA, I think, right now. And, you know, it's no brainer. Where else are you going to go? You know, WWE is the premier show. So that I'm happy for her. And I think she'll do great, because I feel like the women's division needs a little something.
Yeah. I'm kind of glad you said that, Baron, because J-Bone, I read earlier that Jordynne Grace never really, I don't know if she was offered anything by AEW, but that was a possible promotion as she could have gone to. And she said that it just wasn't in the cards at the time, which is probably honestly for her benefit.
Yeah, I think there's a big reason why WWE is you know, the be all end all journey for her, because I mean, at the time for years, since 2017, 2018, whatever it was, you know, that's all Jordynne Grace needed. And then the pandemic hit, and people don't like, you know, there was that P word, but when it hit, and we've talked a little bit about this before, you either sank or you swam during that time. People, you know, depending on what show you were, what company, you either upped the ante for yourself, for your own career, to help the situation, to help your own career, to make it better. Guys like, another perfect example, guys like Frankie Kazarian was in a position in AEW and was starting to kind of they were starting to kind of put him on the back burner. Mm-hmm. And he redefined himself as well. I mean, the guy's in the best shape of his whole damn, 20-year career. And he looks like $1 million. There's a reason why he's on TNA television every single week now. There's a reason why he's carrying that cup. He's destined to become champ at some point. Jordynne Grace completely redid herself. She I don't know what she took, what weights she lifted, but she became a whole new person. And it wasn't just, hey, look at me, look at what I did. No, she took those tools and she took her social media audience and turned it into the most positive reflection of what to do for your audience than anyone else has done in a long time. She turned it into, hey, look what I did. You can do it too. And used that tool as in, for women. It had to do with like a whole body shaming campaign, and saying, hey, no matter if you look like me or if you look like me like I did 10 years ago, you're beautiful, you're wonderful, and, use the talents that, big man upstairs. I'm paraphrasing here a little bit, but, she went on this course of just getting a positive word out there for women all around the world. And it was like, wow. And TNA took that and said, look who we have in our Knockouts division. This is who we are proud of. This is who we want representing us.
Yeah.
And it just went on from there.
Sure. I mean, in Max, real quick, in the pandemic, you had to make viral moments. You had to stay trending. You had to be talked about. And that's exactly what J-Bone said. That's what Jordynne Grace did. She made herself one of the most talked about professional wrestlers on the internet. And that's what you had to do in the pandemic to be able to get over and stay relevant.
Especially with companies having to perform in front of empty arenas. I mean,
yeah.
Not all companies were able to do shows during the pandemic. WWE got lucky. And unfortunately, though, I don't know how lucky you can consider it when there's no crowd in there. And we've talked about this before. A smaller or no crowd really saps the energy when you're out there. When you're a wrestler or even just a manager working in a crowded facility with people around you cheering or booing or whatever, it livens you up. It gives you energy because you can feel these fans came to see what you're going to do next. But when you're in front of an empty arena like the WWE was for that whole time, it's hard. It really is.
Yeah, it is. And they did what they had to do, and they did it to the best of their ability. And good for Jordynne Grace getting that multi-year contract with the WWE. I know she was gunning for it. I know they were kind of gunning for her. So I'm excited to see her and what she can do with that promotion. It's time to go to the desk of Max Magus, and this involves your favorite friend, Scott Steiner. He is never one to hold back, and now Big Papa Pump is teasing WWE fans with the idea of making surprise appearance at the Royal Rumble on Saturday. After already hinting at a return, Steiner has doubled down with a fiery new message that has fans wondering if he'll actually show up. Ahead of last night's Raw at State Farm Arena, Steiner took to Twitter, now known as X, made it clear that he's keeping a close eye on the show. And if it doesn't meet his standards, he might just take matters into his own hand. Here's what he tweeted, quote, State Farm Arena, it's not that far away. So if Raw tonight is trash, I'll have no choice but to drive down and show you all what a real show looks like. Don't test me, freaks, end quote. Now, Max, we don't know if Scott Steiner was just talking to talk, because we know he isn't mathing with math, but do you think that Big Papa Pump will give us the hookup at the Rumble?
Actually, no, I do not. And I'm going to tell you why. I'm sure he wants to be there. I'm sure he would love to put in that appearance that he's been teasing. But I happen to know where he's going to be the night of the Rumble. He is going to be on a ship, part of a wrestling show on a ship. He is scheduled to be there from January 31st until February 4th. So Steiner is not going to make the Rumble, unfortunately for him. But hey, Steiner, I, for one, would enjoy seeing you pop up. Only if you pop up during your nephew's match, though. Anything else just would seem overdone and out of place for me. But I would love to see both you and Rick show up for one of Braun's matches. And as much fun as Xavier's family wearing the New Day Sucks shirt was last night, I'd rather see you guys there supporting Braun and not like Xavier's family. But and this goes back to the nostalgia thing. Okay, as long as they don't get involved and actually try to be part of the show, put in an appearance, be seen. That's what I want. Don't actually get involved in the match. Or yes, Spells Boy, the Jericho Cruise. Don't actually try to get involved in any of the matches or anything. Just be there. That's great for nostalgia.
Yeah.
And I'll end it with this. Hey, Scott, holler if you hear that.
Holla, holla.
Holla, holla. All
Stay
right.
home, do some Sudoku. Just watch it on the TV. We don't need to see it. Come on, Steiner.
Let us know in your thoughts if you thought Scott Steiner was going to show up on the Royal Rumble, or maybe Monday Night Raw, or maybe in a future Monday Night Raw. We never know with him. JD McDonough, man, he's in the news, and he'll be out of action for the foreseeable future after a move gone wrong during Monday Night Raw, which left him with some pretty significant injuries. So let's set the scene for you. JD's tag team match with Dominic Mysterio against the Viking Raiders had a lot of high-flying action in the match. And while attempting a move from the ring apron down to the floor, McDonough seemingly caught too much air, missed his opponent, and instead his head smacked on the announcer's table. And it didn't look like his head, but it looked like his neck, to be honest. Like right up there at the top, like the hairline, it looked pretty gnarly. Apparently once JD went backstage, he fell to the floor. He suffered broken ribs and a punctured lung in the process of all this, and he's said to be out of action for at least a couple months. He took to X to tell us he was good, and thanks for all the messages and concerns. I kind of want to hear from Max on this. That move was really, really scary, and it could have been so much worse. And I'm sure that you've seen, Max, a lot of wrestlers do those kind of high-flying, death-defying moves that could potentially end their career.
Hey, look, high-flying moves like that are entertaining to the fans. I get that. But at the end of the day, our number one job is protect ourselves, protect our opponents. And when you do a move that high risk, you are not only putting yourself in danger, you're putting your opponents in danger. In this case, your tag team partner, because they were all involved. You're also putting the announce team in danger, because what if you overshot the table when they tried to catch you? Okay, I watched that. This is a good way to get a concussion protocol instituted against you, because if you watch it, his head does smack back onto the table. But yes, it does look like it catches him right here at the top. It looked really bad. Listen, if you ever see this, I want you to know that I am glad you're okay. I truly am. But dude, you got to take better care of yourself. That right there was a mistake that's cost you some time outside of the ring. And it sucks to say that, because you are one of the most amazing up-and-coming talents I've seen. But sadly, that's where we're at right now. That mistake cost you some ring time.
And and JD, if you ever do see this, we're all glad that you're okay, and we thank you for what you do in that ring, man, because God knows I couldn't do it. And it's a scary. It was a scary move. Again, we're glad you're okay. There's another update on Dakota Kai, and according to numerous WWE sources, Dakota has been diagnosed with a concussion. So she'll be out of action for a while too. Speedy recovery to both JD McDonough and Dakota Kai as well. Let's move on to some AEW. Go ahead, Max.
Can I respond to that real quick?
Absolutely, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So Barry, here's the thing. A lot of times it's not WWE's decision whether to let him carry on or not. It's up to the individual involved. If it's serious enough and they can see how serious it is from a cursory glance, they're going to take that decision away. But in my opinion, when they checked on him to make sure he was okay, he was coherent, he was clear, he was able to articulate that he was fine. So not seeing any signs that there was something more serious, they let him go back to it because he said he was fine. That's a very... Go ahead, J-Bone.
I'm sorry. Trips was in constant communication with the doctor, constantly asking him, "Hey, is he okay? Is he okay?" Because he got checked on right away, and I'm personally shocked that he finished the match. It looked pretty brutal, but he was up and going, and I think part of it is adrenaline. You got the hype of the crowd. You're in go mode, so I'm not shocked that he finished the match. It's kind of like some of these guys, they bust a quad or something like that. And they just keep on going, like Triple H has done in the past. You finish the match, and then you're coming down from it, and then your body goes, "Well, what were you thinking?" It's just.
Yeah. On the flip side, you have a guy like Sin Cara that dislocated a finger but couldn't finish the match.
Didn't Alberto Del Rio bitch slap him? And
Alberto was pissed, and I don't blame him, because you may not be able to use that hand. You may not be able to. You can get back in the ring, take the pin, or whatever, take it home, and give Del Rio his finish. Now, I'm not big on Del Rio. Don't get me wrong, but I'd have given him his finish. That someone like Trips probably should not have given the finish. He tore a quad. He could barely stand. He should have been taken out. But you dislocated a finger. I understand not wanting it to get worse, but crawl in, let him flip you over for the pin. You don't even have to take a move to take it home.
Right. Yeah. Well, keep sounding off in the comments on what if you want to continue that conversation about JD McDonough. Let's move on to some AEW news, because we still have Baron's Buzzkill coming up here soon. And the January 25th episode of AEW Collision showed AEW's commitment to exciting programming with big storyline moments, including the surprise return of Tony Storm's Timeless character. But the latest ratings and fans have both fans and analysts talking. According to WrestleNomics, AEW Collision drew an overnight average of 250,000 viewers on TNT, with a rating of 0.07 in the key 18 to 49 demographic. This reflects a decrease from last week's show that garnered 342,000 viewers with a 0.10 rating. However, these figures only represent TNT's broadcast numbers. They don't include Max streaming viewership, which is increasingly factored into AEW's total audience. For some reason, Max is not releasing those numbers, but the night's biggest shocker was Tony Storm returning as Timeless, which, Baron, I'm confused, man. We had Tony Storm to begin with. Then she became Timeless Tony Storm, which was a great gimmick for her. I enjoyed it a lot. She lost the title to Mariah May. She was gone for a while, came back as just Tony Storm, as confused as I was when she returned. And now she's Timeless again. Is this because the whole Britt Baker thing was supposed to work with Mariah May, and now that Britt is on Tony Khan's shelf, he brings back Timeless Storm again, and now we get Mariah May at Grand Slam Australia? What the fuck?
What the fuck? They're clearly having to pivot or scramble here. And I mean, I like Timeless Tony though. I really do enjoy that character, so it's good to me. I enjoy it. I think it's a little rush that it just happened again. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
right.
When did she make that switch? I don't. Somebody in the chat can tell me. I don't remember. But it hasn't been longer than 3 months, right?
I think so. Well, shit. I mean, fuck. How long has Toni Storm been was out of action, and then she came back, and she's just Toni Storm, and now she's timeless again.
Yeah, I mean they're trying to. She had a very big popularity when that was happening, and it's great, and I love it. So they're trying to recapitalize on that right now.
They are, but and I know it's probably because of all the Britt Baker talk, and I get that, but damn it, let her ride out. Stick to the fucking story. Stick to a story. Stop hopping all over the fucking place, man.
I mean, this is on par for something I've been stating on this show for how long now? Since we rebooted. It doesn't make sense to me. None of their stories do. So
my understanding was the Toni Storm minus Timeless thing that was going on for a bit there was supposed to be some amnesia storyline, and my guess would be that something happened, possibly the Britt Baker thing, and they scrambled to adjust and adapt. They're not as good at the adapting as they should be, so they scrambled to adjust or adapt, and so they brought it back, because losing whatever it was that they lost, whether to injury or Britt leaving or whatever it was, you have to find a way to fill the void that you now have on your roster. So
I don't even know if Britt's actually gone. I read an article where Chris Jericho said that she's not gone. He doesn't want her to leave. He thinks that she'll be back on TV at some point, but then again, Chris isn't Tony Khan. Tony Khan has a mind of its own, his own,
And why is she gone? Let's remind the viewers. Like, what happened? Remind me.
There's some talk about her being a bully backstage, and the situation with Adam Cole. Her relationship with him fizzled out. There was a situation apparently between she and MJF and MJF's girlfriend. There was just a lot of stuff going on between Britt and the locker room. A lot of people said that she wasn't liked in the locker room, the women's locker room, and so on. And I think Tony Khan has had enough of her BS, whatever BS she's been pulling. But that's what's been going on. Britt's just been in a lot of hot water.
Yeah, and I think a lot of this backstage shit in AEW is a load of shit. I think that video they posted about CM Punk was a clear indication that they don't know what the fuck's going on.
Oh yeah.
So I tend to not believe anything that's going on in the backstage area of AEW.
Yeah, and we're going to talk more into the delusional world that Tony Khan lives in, but it's time for your buzzkill moment, dude. AEW is set to offer another option for purchasing their pay-per-view events later this year, and that is Amazon Prime streaming. So according to Brandon Thurston of WrestleNomics, Amazon Prime is set to become a digital option for AEW pay-per-views in the U.S. and in Canada, as well as the U.K. It's unknown exactly when the option will be available, but when AEW pay-per-views were available through the Bleacher Report app, whatever it's called, one of the options was payment through Amazon. Sources told the Takedown on SI that AEW noticed how many of their customers were using Amazon payment, the option through Bleacher Report, and the apparent ease of purchasing through Amazon was one of the more motivating factors in the move to make events available through Prime itself in the future. As of right now, you can watch AEW on Triller TV, YouTube, PPV.com, and of course traditional cable and satellite companies in the U.S. and in Canada. So Baron, is adding the Amazon Prime going to be a good option for AEW going forward to help drive subscription numbers and maybe viewership?
Oh man, this is supposed to be my buzzkill moment. I'm supposed to say something negative and like kill everybody's buzz, but like Yeah, that's extremely good. Amazon is the biggest fucking thing on earth, whether it's Amazon Prime or ordering, like Amazon Video, anything. Like Amazon is it.
Yeah,
So I
everybody.
unfortunately have to say that yes, this would be extremely good because I mean the numbers from Amazon compared to Netflix is probably quadruple. Everybody has Amazon.
Yes, yeah.
So yes, this is. Damn it! I'm not supposed to agree with this, man. Damn it! No, it's a terrible idea. Get it off of there. No,
Well,
it's a good idea. Really.
Here's my question: Is it a thing where you have to purchase it on Amazon, or are they just going to feature it on Amazon for free if you have an Amazon subscription?
That's my question too. The article that I read wasn't very clear.
Okay.
But that is a key question there is if you have Amazon Prime, like I have Amazon Prime. So am I going to get all the pay-per-views for free or added into my subscription, or are they going to be like an extra cost? I have no idea.
Maybe they'll do it because I know I don't personally do this, but I have Amazon Prime, and if you go on Amazon Prime Video, you have the option to subscribe to channels like AMC, Shudder, Showtime, stuff like that. You have at Paramount Plus, you have the option to subscribe to those channels. Maybe what they're, and this is just pure speculation. Maybe AEW will have a channel on Amazon Plus, and if you subscribe to there through Amazon Prime, then maybe you'll get the pay-per-view. I don't know. I have no idea.
I would assume they're going to release some sort of statement soon, and we'll have to keep an eye out on that.
I think it would be smart if they do. I mean, at this point in juncture, they have to go somewhere. They have to have on multiple platforms because it's not working on their normal basic cable or anything like that. So I think it's smart, but being someone that is on Amazon and watches a lot of stuff, you have to pay for a lot of shit on there.
Well, and especially,
you know what I'm saying?
Well, it depends on what you're looking for, but yeah.
Yeah, but a lot of shit you have to pay, man.
I mean, especially when their pay-per-views are like $50, $60.
Yeah, I still don't understand why they're still doing that. Get off that shit.
Let's keep one thing in mind. As of 2 days ago, neither AEW nor Amazon have confirmed that this deal has taken place. But according to what I have found, it's going to be kind of like when I had the ESPN Plus app, I could watch certain pay-per-views on the Plus app, but I had to pay for the pay-per-view in addition to my subscription. So what I'm seeing right now in the article I'm reading, yeah, you can watch the AEW pay-per-view on Amazon Prime, but you're going to have to pay an additional cost on top of your subscription, which means why would I want to watch it on Prime when I can just do it on the Dish Network? You know what I mean?
Yeah, well,
it depends on what price it's going to be. Like if you're just paying $50 to $60 on basic cable, and if they have a special deal through Amazon Prime where if you have that subscription and it's down $20-$30, that's going to be a huge draw. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see what the numbers are.
To sum up my buzzkill moment, I'm not going to pay fucking an extra $2 to watch any of their programs. So there's that.
Sound off in the comments. I want to know what you guys think. Would you pay an extra amount if you have Amazon Prime? Would you pay an extra amount to watch an AEW pay-per-view, or would you just say, fuck it, I'll just stream it for free? Let me know what you think in the comments, and sound off. We love to hear from you. Let's talk about how delusional Tony Khan is. AEW made a deal with Warner Brothers Discovery to put their shows on more platforms, including Max. Dynamite is now shown on TBS and HBO Max, the streaming app, while AEW Collision airs on TNT and HBO Max at the same time. However, it appears that quite a few AEW wrestlers didn't know about the move to Max at all. While speaking on the Going Ringside podcast, Mariah May actually revealed that AEW talent were not informed about the company's move to the Max streaming platform. She explained that when they were all heading to the ring, they had no idea what was about to be announced. Everyone was confused, wondering what was going on. May admitted that, like many others, she had no prior knowledge of the announcement, and nobody around her was aware either. She mentioned that she was with the makeup girls, and when the news was finally revealed, and their reaction was excitement, realizing that they were going to Max. But I mean, Max, isn't this something that you think that maybe you at least would like to mention to your staff and your wrestlers?
You know, I've seen video of when something big's about to happen for NXT or its people. You see Triple H in a room meeting with them saying, hey, we've got this coming up. Or Sean in the room saying, hey, we've got this coming up. If you have people that work for you, you should communicate the important things to them, things that they may not have heard elsewhere, the way you found out. That way they're not finding out from, say, Dave Meltzer on the internet later. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, it's like, you know, if AEW were tanking, which they are, but if they were ready to close the doors, shutter everything, don't you think that it would be nice to say, hey, by the way, welcome to work. You don't have a job anymore. Wouldn't that be nice to know? I mean, Baron, this is what we've been talking about. Tony Khan is just fucking delusional, and it's just not good for professional wrestling. Tell your staff, man, what's going on with your company? Jesus.
Well, you know, I like to be that guy and just blow shit out of proportion. But it sounds to me like that's just corporate America. Communication is absolute dog shit no matter where you're at or what you are. So it's on par for AEW. But yeah, I agree. Like, there has to be some communication level that goes with the company. But it makes sense with everything that we've seen over the last few months. Like, nobody knows what's going on, and it's frustrating and it's annoying, and I hate to fucking keep bringing it up week to week, but it's how it is, man. Like, they have to get it together because, like, they have a good fucking platform, they have a good roster. Just got to put the fucking pieces together.
You gotta fine tune.
Communication would be a prime example of why we're in the boat we are in.
Here's the big problem, J-Bone. Tony Khan is still at the helm of creative, so he is the issue of why the creative sucks in the first place. But he's also the issue of why his people aren't being told shit. Wouldn't you like it to know that if one day I decided, hey, we're going to cancel the show, we're done. Wouldn't you like to fucking know so that you don't have to wait around to say, oh, we're going to do a show tonight? Which, by the way, we're not canceling the show. I'm just giving this as an example. We're not going anywhere.
You have me dizzy. You have my heart racing.
No, apparently we're just canceling J-Bone's Thursday night thing from what I hear.
Whoa!
Oh!
Whoa! Speculation.
Yeah.
What's going on around here?
What's going on with that, man?
Oh God!
There's been some word. Let's just dead that right now, okay? Let's just dead that right now. J-Bone is not going anywhere. J-Bone is here, and he's also on Thursdays. It's a little thing called work. Chill the fuck out, which I told that guy to stay in his fucking lane, and he needs to.
Listen, I'd like to add one more thing to this. You little stalker dude. You think you had a gotcha moment? Well, I'll tell you what. You can't get the Ramblers because we got you, all right?
It's what happens. And this, look, guys, don't take this. This isn't me going, yeah, look at me. Look at the audience I have. But it's what happens when you've been doing this as long as I've been doing this, and you're going to get a few people coming through the cracks that, you know, they maybe, you know, They don't have a full loaf of bread upstairs, or
they're not playing with a full deck of cards, is what you're saying.
Fucking man, that's all I'm gonna say. Okay, that's my guy over here. Leave him alone.
He may look to us. He's a traitor, but I'm telling you, you fuck with our brothers, and it's war. It's war.
Yeah, look, I love both my shows. I'm incredibly proud of both of them. You know, when T and I called me to be a part of it, I couldn't have been happier with the situation. And then, you know, throughout the years, it became a situation where I became the guy to, host it, I'll say a majority of the time, just because of how life's been lately.
Mm-hmm.
And then, we decided to raise the bar and bring the Ramblers back. I love these guys. We have a blast doing this. We talk about a bunch of different topics, which makes me feel good because, for a while I didn't know what the hell to do with Smash This Podcast. So at least I have this outlet, while I'm deciding what to do with my old channel. So,
I think we need to merge.
Well, we could. We certainly could. That's been something on my mind too that I wanted to discuss with you guys, but I'm not sure what options you guys would be up for and how to do it, but we'll do that off the air.
We've had him first, okay? We had him first.
He's ours.
He's ours. J-Bone is mine, okay?
We'll start a Patreon page. We'll call the show Get the Ramblers Smashed, and they can donate to the Patreon page to get us smashed.
I fucking love it. Which, by the
way, we already have one of those.
So yes, of course he's yours.
Listen, the last thing I want to say on this subject on that guy, is look.
The last thing.
I don't know what you think you're doing. I don't know if you have some kind of cohesive thought process going. But clearly you don't seem to know that there is such a thing as being able to do more than one show. I personally do more than one show. I do Ramblers Unleashed. I have another podcast called Random Shots, and I have appeared on TNI. I've appeared on Smash This Podcast. You're not going to limit yourself. Why do you think J-Bone would have limited himself to one podcast? You're a moron. I'm sorry.
Yeah, and here's another thing that we want to clarify too, is that Ramblers Unleashed is under the same umbrella as TNI. Okay,
yeah, I made that official last year. Yeah.
So we made it official last year. We talked to J-Bone about it. We said we want to be on board with TNI, and that's why he's here. But he's always been here, even before TNI was even a part of that. He's always been here. He's ours. You can't fucking have him. You can leave
my man.
And I'm gonna tell you this too. I'm gonna say this real quick too. You think that we won't come after you? And if you fuck with one of our brothers, go ask the other fucking podcast what happened after they fucking tried to start some beef with us. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. All right, we move on.
So I did want to say something on the topic real quick.
Yeah. One more.
We were talking about communicating with your people. I want to tell a little story that's not technically wrestling related, but does apply to this. When I got it after high school, I was still working at Jack in the Box. And here in Colorado, they shut us all down. Every Jack in the Box in the state closed down in late 96, early 97, so that they could stop sending money to those to pay for stuff going on in another state. How much notice do you think they gave us that they were closing? Right. They knew about it for a couple of weeks, but they didn't tell us. We showed up for work and they're putting boards on the window. Listen, you got to communicate with your staff. You have to. That way I don't show up and find myself, I don't have a job anymore. You just boarded up my windows. Go ahead.
No, like I have to say this, and I'm going off the fucking topic real quick. But fuck Jack in the Box, because today I tried to place an order for Jack in the Box on DoorDash, and they wouldn't allow me because there's been so many times that I had to get a refund, and they asked me for a fucking PIN number in order for the DoorDash person to deliver my food, and I've never been so fucking pissed in my life about food other than today. Fuck you, Jack in the Box. I don't care.
But personally, I don't have a Jack in the Box where I live anymore, so I love you and I miss you.
I love their tacos, man. God
Please
damn
come
it.
to Southern. Oh my God, I love their breakfast burritos. Please come to Southern.
It's so good.
Dude, I know I miss them. I miss it. I miss it so much. Let's move on.
I've heard about Jack in the Box. I've never experienced Jack in the Box.
You need to.
It's sloppy, drunk, high as fuck.
Dude,
food.
yes.
That's it.
Real quick, some buddies of mine and I got drunk one night, and we went through Jack in the Box and ordered like 40 tacos, and we had. Yeah, we may have had the shit later on, but damn,
Yep.
Let's move on. Let's get into some TNA news. Let's talk about PCO, guys. He's been with TNA Wrestling for a while, but his actions at the People versus GCW pay-per-view event effectively confirmed the end of his time with the company. He smashed the TNA Digital Media Championship and went on a rant about TNA. And now he has explained why he destroyed the title. So while speaking to Fightful, PCO admitted that he was upset with TNA's new management, but took responsibility for not recognizing the red flags earlier. He felt comfortable in TNA because of the great locker room atmosphere with no backstabbing or pranks. PCO praised the production team for doing a lot with limited resources and said he got along well with creative. He also pointed out that in 2024, he had the most pay-per-view wins alongside Jordynne Grace and Moose, which made it even more surprising that he is now without a contract. PCO confirmed that while GCW knew he planned to do something at the show, they didn't know exactly what. He admitted that smashing the title with the sledgehammer was a last-minute decision. PCO explained that he was frustrated with TNA, that they had promised to recognize the international title, which had a long history dating back to 1932. But after 6 months, nothing had been done. Meanwhile, he pointed out that TNA was able to create another title in just a few days for someone else. PCO said that he didn't think TNA was smart enough to turn the incident into a storyline. He felt discouraged, but wished TNA the best. He added that he isn't the type to dwell on setbacks. He believes in pushing forward, staying focused, and never giving up. TNA removed PCO from the roster page for after the action. So, J-Bone, you are the TNA guy. What's next for PCO?
Hey, GCW, it's good. You can have it. Look, yeah, PCO was one of my faves in TNA, and people knew that for a long time. I loved him. I loved his character. You know, for what it was, I was okay with it. It was, I mean, the character was kind of goofy, but it was what he did in the ring that really stood out, and the stuff that, and we talked about this a little earlier. It's like, you know, the stuff you put your body through. Yeah. The crazy, you know, aerobatics that he would do in inside the ring, outside the ring. I mean, at his age, he was doing stuff that, you know, that, like, you know, Speedball Mike Bailey did, and was like, oh my God. Guys his age, you know, typically don't do that anymore, and he was still doing it. Which was like, you know, I give him a lot of credit. You know, is it the smartest thing in the world to do? No, but is it entertaining? Hell yeah. He just kept on doing it, and we loved him for it because he did it so well. I am gonna miss him. It's unfortunate. Look, I know there was some kind of disruption. You know, everyone in the company is going to have their own story, their own connection with Scott D'Amore and the past people in charge. But what are you going to do, man? Companies change. You know, companies evolve. People come, people go. The higher ups are going to do what they're going to do to progress this company forward into the future. And if the people in charge don't see as much worth in an individual as others did, you know, because maybe it was more of a friendship and a good old buddy thing from the past or whatever it was, giving him a chance. Maybe Scott D'Amore paid him more than the the current regime wanted to. Whatever it is, man, you got to roll with the punches and just. I can understand frustrations, but you don't do that, man. You don't do that. You can certainly voice stuff on social media like he did, but to do stuff like he did during the show, man, it's not cool, man. It's not cool. I feel like TNA came back from it in a very strong way, kind of a tit for tat thing that I think TNA fans can chuckle about when Steph DeLander, showed up.
Yeah.
At Genesis with the title, saying that she wanted to end the divorce, and then and here's, oh, by the way, here's my boyfriend, and Mance Warner shows up. That was great. I felt like TNA was like, hey, if you're gonna do this, check this shit out. I feel like they really handled it about the best way that they could. I don't know what the long-term storytelling would have been if PCO had stayed, if it would have been similar and Mance Warner still would have been a part of the equation. I would have loved to have seen PCO versus Mance Warner, but hey, we're getting another version that I saw several years ago, handful of years ago, 6-7 years ago. Well, gosh, whatever it is now. Holy cow! Before pre-pandemic, so it gets a little fuzzy. Callahan versus Mance Warner. I'm stoked. So give it to me.
Yeah, and speaking of Steph DeLander, she finally spoke out about the chaos surrounding PCO's shocking exit from TNA and his dramatic destruction of the Digital Media Championship at the People versus GCW event. DeLander insists that she is holding the real championship, which, I mean, PCO told everybody that, hey, it was a fake, or they found out that it was a fake, despite the fact that PCO destroyed a similar looking title on the People versus GCW event. That belt that PCO smash was not an actual title. So it's good to see Steph DeLander back in TNA and finally in a heel role, because I mean, I think she flourishes in that role. But Max, I have to go back to you, man. It's not a good look for PCO, dude. What do you think? What do you think his career? What do you think his future is? Do you think TNA would take him back after maybe some time off? And
honestly, no, I don't think they want anything to do with him at this point. I mean, what he did showed that they can't trust him in the future. Now, honestly, to be fair, we've seen other people, and we're going to talk about that story next, but we've seen other people who have big mistakes take place and then get welcomed back. I mean, one of the biggest stories out of WWE was Vince McMahon and Ultimate Warrior patching things up after all the years of hate and vitriol between the two. So I won't say it'll never happen, but I don't think it's going to happen for a very long time after what happened. And let me just say this. I get it. You're upset. Promises were made, but did you get it in writing? Because with those promises being made verbally, that leaves it open that they can change their mind at any time.
Yep.
And you just have to roll with those punches and deal with what comes down and handle it like an adult, not like a child. And maybe something could have been worked out. Approach them, say, hey, we had these deals. Is there any way we can discuss possibly reinstating them? But no, you wanted to throw a tantrum and go smash a title and make a point on another company's show. That's tantamount to showing up on Nitro and throwing your title in the trash.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. I love Alundra Blaze, but I will never forgive that action. That's childish.
What was the name of the title? Digital Media?
The Digital Media title.
What's Digital Media? It's marketing. You have to market yourself. So like I guess I don't understand like where the hate's coming from him, because in my mind, like kind of.
I
it
think
helps promote him.
I think the problem that fans are having, and I think the problem that Max is having, is that no matter what kind of title it is, even if it was a 24/7 title on WWE, it's still a title. It's still prestigious. You don't go and do something so outlandish because you're pissed off at the company, like smash your title with a fucking sledgehammer.
Yeah, no, 100%. I get that point. Yeah, I truly do as a fan.
I think that's what people are upset about.
But for a fan that's lived through the finger poke of whatever the fuck we called it, like
finger poke of
doom, you know, like it is what it is. But like, I think when it comes to generating yourself and marketing yourself, it's not a bad idea. You know what? Fuck it, go for it, man. Hopefully it benefits him. He's like almost 60 years old at this point, right?
So, how old is he, Javon? Is he up?
Got to be 60.
Yeah, he's up there in age. Yeah,
Max will look it up for us.
I got you. I'll get this covered. Don't worry.
That's why he's my best friend.
Let me tell you about my best friend.
I don't do math after 10. So thanks, Max. Appreciate it.
You know what,
Scott Steiner.
While we're on the subject of age, I got 2 ages I want to discuss after this. He was born in 1967. He is 57 years old.
Okay.
Damn,
he's 7 years older than me. All right.
Which is surprising that he can still move in the ring like that.
Yeah, honestly. He can fucking move. Oh, yeah, he can.
What was her name?
Are you going to talk about Mae Young? If you talk about
no, I'm talking. This is a pro wrestler.
Mae Young was a pro wrestler.
Oh no, this is a current pro wrestler. Sorry,
I should pro wrestler. Okay, gotcha.
So we were watching Genesis.
Yes,
and I believe it was Jody. Yeah, it was Jody Threat that was in the ring, and Rowdy made a comment about how old she looked, and he's like, with her age, I don't think they should retain these belts, but I don't want Ash by Elegance to have them either. And I'm like, you know what? Let me look it up. And it turns out that she is almost 11 years younger than me. And listen, I know I don't look like a spring chicken anymore, but I don't look nearly as rough for my age as she does. She looks like she's a good 10, 20 years older than me.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
you look fucking
You're
good,
more like a spring dodo.
You look fucking great. Okay.
I like how J-Bone just said I'm extinct, and I appreciate the attempt from the Baron to get back in my good graces. That goes a point in your favor. I like that.
Yeah, right.
Flattery will get you everywhere.
Max, remember, we're best friends, man.
I'm trying to fucking take that title away from you. I'm going to take that shit away by the end of the month.
You.
So, before we get to our next story, I would like to greet somebody who is now in the chat. Can we share what I sent to the group real quick?
Yes. Let me.
I'm surprised he had enough time from PUBG to come see us today.
All right. Yeah. Let me get this pulled up here real quick. And of course, you're talking about our good friend CM Styles.
Oh, love that guy.
Styles,
good guy.
Let me go here and let me share.
All right. For those of you that can't read that, I messaged him on Steam and said, "Hey, the charter member of Tyson's Kiss My Ass Club," and he replied, "He's got that kind of ass, you know."
Oh my! Yes, I mean, yeah. So
I give him a lot of shit, but I love the guy. He's one of my favorite guests to come on the show.
That's funny.
Styles has been a good friend of our show for a very long time. In case you haven't been here, Styles usually comes in and fills in if a Rambler is out. Styles will come in and he will take the place to try to take the place of the Rambler that's missing in action. But
Styles and I have a lot of history together in the podcasting world, and I'm very proud to call him one of my friends, as I do you guys. Yeah, he's a good brother.
Yes, absolutely.
One of my favorite things that we ever did as a group, and it wasn't just us four. It wasn't just us four and Styles. Austin was there. There was several other people, and we decided to do a roast in honor of, I don't remember who the roast was actually for, but I remember when it came to be my turn on that episode that we did, I'm like, listen, clearly none of you know how a roast works, so I'm going to teach you all how it works right now, because you guys were not insulting everybody else on the roast. You were just going after the person, and so I had to sit there and teach everybody how it's done. That was so much fun. We should do that again.
We need another roast. Who should we roast, Max?
I vote we roast Styles.
Oh, that would be, oh my God, yes. God, do you know how much I would have to go back into our archives just to dig up all the dirt on Styles? He's got so much of it.
Wooden dildo.
Oh, Styles, we love you, buddy. We appreciate you being here, and we appreciate your input whenever you're on the show, man. We miss you, and we love you, and you're a good friend of the show, buddy. By the way, before we move on to our last story, before we get into our Royal Rumble predictions, make sure that you are liking this video. You hit that subscribe button. That tells YouTube that you like what we do, and that moves our videos onto other folks so that they, if they're a wrestling fan or maybe they're just a fan of entertainment, can join in on the fun and come on over and listen to us blab for as long as we've blabbed. God, we've been doing this for how long?
20 years.
Oh my God, Jesus.
We're very professional at rambling.
Yes, yeah. Well,
quite.
Baron, you always leave at the most.
Hey, man, let me tell you, this Bush latte, whatever this is, man, it goes through the system.
You know how bad I've had to piss? Also,
go pee. It's fine.
No, why? No, because I am a soldier. I am a champion for this show. I don't leave. As I say, fuck you, bladder. You can stay. You can chill. No, I love you, man.
I don't believe that for 1 second. Listen, I love you. You're my best friend. You're my tag team partner. No. But I believe you keep a bottle under your desk so that you don't have to get up.
Well, that's how committed I am to do this show.
I've just had a few bottles on a couple drives, and I'm not going to do it again because it's not great.
I'm still confused by what apparently was in the bottle. Did anyone else hear that? Did you say Bush latte? What?
Yeah. It's something. It's a St. Louis thing. Okay.
Cheap plug. It's like I'm trying to think of.
I mean, is that kind of like if you have a bunch of them, you say, "I've had a latte beer."
I've had a lot, and other things. So I'm doing great. I just gotta go when you gotta go. And Dizzy, I don't want you to piss your pants, my man.
Courtney, I'm okay. No, I'm fine. Because we got to get to this next story, and then we got to get to our predictions.
Okay.
I'm good.
Tonight's episode of Ramblers Unleashed is brought to you by Anheuser-Busch, because you need a Busch latte every once in a while.
Brought to you by Bubba.
And by your Razor store, because we all need to get ready for fight night. And now, back to the show.
It's also brought to you by colostomy bags.
And it's brought to you by the letter W, because we put the wrestling in wrestling podcast.
I love that. Yes. Yeah. Well, let's get into our last story of the evening and then move on to our Royal Rumble predictions. And Baron, this is why I wanted you here, because this does involve Tessa Blanchard, but it also involves somebody that you actually agreed with last time that RVD said something about I think it was taking time off or something like that, or no, it was injury pay. That's what it was. Injury pay, yes. So Tessa Blanchard's career took a pretty big hit after indie wrestler La Rosa Negra, and I hope I pronounced her name right, accused Blanchard of calling her the N-word before spitting on her. While Blanchard denied the accusation, the wrestling world didn't want anything to do with her for several years. Blanchard is still branded as a racist by many, but it appears that RVD has now come to Blanchard's defense. While speaking on his One of a Kind podcast, RVD talked about the racism accusations against Tessa. He said that when he met her, she was always nice and he never had any problems with her. He pointed out that she gets a lot of criticism from the other women in the business and from fans. He thinks the situation might just be a matter of different values and misunderstandings. RVD mentioned that many people believe Tessa is racist, but he can't say for sure. However, he said he's not surprised by racism because it was common where he grew up. He explained before he was born, segregation was still in place and the government even encouraged racism. He's not shocked when older people like Hulk Hogan face similar accusations. But with Tessa, he felt there isn't enough proof to make it a clear judgment. He also questioned why racism would be held against someone in entertainment unless it was really something they focused on. He compared it to people who push their political views too much, which can annoy others. He doesn't think Tessa is necessarily racist, even though some people use racial slurs to hurt others in the heat of the moment. He also added that just because someone uses a racist word doesn't mean they truly believe in racial superiority. He compared it to calling someone fat or bald during an argument. People sometimes use insults just to hurt others. Now, before we say anything else, this needs to be said. It is never, ever, ever okay to use any kind of racial slur against anyone else, whether it be in the heat of the moment or not. Okay, I had to make that very, very clear before we talk about this, because this is a pretty touchy subject. But Baron, I know that you have been kind of vocal about Tessa. And I know that you last time we talked about RVD, you backed RVD. You agreed with him because it was on your Baron's buzzkill, and you didn't do a buzzkill on that. So, what say you on this, man?
I mean, just like you said, man. Like, you can never ever judge a person off of anything that they can't control or anything along those lines. It's just not allowed. It's not okay. I'm not sure where RVD is coming across. Like, there has been multiple people, not just one or two or three. There's been multiple people that has came forward with Tessa Blanchard situation. So it's not just off. It's just not one person saying this. I mean, like, we can never be racist in anything in life. That's not okay. And I think there's been video proof of her being racist. I mean, let's not go back to Hulk Hogan real quick, because there is hundreds of proof of him being racist on camera, on video, 100% proof. Go
and
look
not
it
just
up.
at a wrestling show.
Not just a wrestling show, just outside of wrestling. We don't do that shit, man. It's not okay. It's not. You just don't do that, man. Like, so I don't agree with RVD on this situation at all. I think he's smoked his brain cells lower than mine at this point in juncture, because you don't back up that shit, because, like, it has been proved that she has. So, like, I'm not sure where he's coming across on that.
I think where he's coming across, and I'm trying to play devil's advocate here, but where I think he's coming across is his personal interactions with Tessa. You know, RVD is an absolute legend in this business. He's been around, and are you really going to go backstage off camera and meet a fucking legend and spit in them, like spit in their face? I mean, besides if it was Hulk Hogan, whatever, I know. But but even if it was Hulk Hogan, would a wrestler, would an up and coming wrestler go backstage, meet their idol? If RVD was Tessa's idol, if not, then that's one of the reasons why she's in professional wrestling. Would you go up to their face and disrespect them? No. So I think where RVD is coming from is that, you know, she, at the time that I met her, or we had an interaction, it was fine. Everything was cool. She was very nice. She was very personable. She welcomed me in. And I think that's where he's coming from. I don't know if he's really ever dived into her history.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
One instance, you don't learn everything about a person. That's just not, it's not a possibility. And just like Barry said, like, great, phenomenal wrestler.
Yes.
But there's always, it does not matter. I don't give a fuck if you're the greatest person on earth. If you're a racist and judge people off of just shit like that, it's not okay. You can't do that. You know, can people grow and become better as a human being? Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. People can 100% do that. I will totally agree upon that. However, it doesn't matter what age you are. If you have to stoop to that level to, whether you're racist or not, or, you know, say something to a person in any type of racial matter, it's not okay. I don't agree with that, man. And I will never back that up. And I won't ever make an excuse for anybody on a human level of that. I think it's just fucking disgusting, if you ask me. Simple fact.
Let's put this into perspective, okay? Let's say Tessa Blanchard and TNA, Max, and I want your opinion on this first, and then we'll get to J-Bone, and then we got to get to predictions. But let's put this into perspective. Let's say Tessa was invited by TNA to have a discussion about bringing her back. You know, Jordynne Grace is leaving. We really need a strong female in the locker room to lead this company because Jordynne's leaving. But we know that there's been issues, there's allegations out there against you with this whole racism thing. So what's to say that TNA maybe didn't ask her to do some sort of community service, or maybe some sort of give back to the community, something to where TNA would agree to bring her back, even though they need her, even though they really, really need her because of Jordynne going to the WWE. Maybe they came to some sort of agreement that said, okay, you'll come, we can bring you back, but you got to go do this, Max.
Listen, first off, I have been angry at people and gone off on them, and I have said things I don't mean, and I've regretted things I've said, but I have never once, in the heat of the moment, called somebody a racial slur. I have said things like "you bald bastard" or "you four-eyed bastard," not directed to J-Bone, but he's the example I'm using right now. I've said things like that, but I have never once used a racial slur in any of my tirades when I've lost my temper with somebody and said something I regretted. The fact of the matter is that just because you didn't see any of this happen doesn't mean that it didn't. She doesn't come across that way to you, but that doesn't mean that she isn't. And as far as doing some kind of penance or community service, the only penance or community service that works in this instance is you need her to go in there and apologize to the people that were hurt by her in the past, whether it be verbally or something else, by her actions and her words. You need to go in and have her go in there and apologize. And if they don't accept her apology, you don't re-sign her. That's it. That's the bottom line, in my opinion.
J-Bone, do you agree with that?
I agree with that, but I'm also in the mindset of, look, and everyone's going to have different opinions on this. I'm sure she did. See, here's the thing, guys. We weren't there. We don't know what we don't know what was said to who. It's all he said, she said.
Yeah.
And especially when it comes to, now don't, no offense to women, but we know how women can be. When it comes to he said, she said stuff, a lot of stuff can be embellished. And I'm looking at the big picture here, guys. Okay? Where has she been working to, like, kind of, we'll just say, get back on the horse of wrestling? Where has she been working for the last several years?
Mexico.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, but didn't Conan say she was like the most difficult person to work with? It's like what's I'm not sure what that means.
Conan's
Well, look, she was married to, from what I remember, she was married to Daga. Okay.
Yeah.
Things went south there. I don't know who did what to who, but then she was basically, kicked out of the company after whatever happened, and Daga stayed and she went. And then she took the time, she stayed down south. And I don't want to get into the wild women of wrestling stuff because besides attitude stuff that I've heard about, I really have no clue what happened between her and that company. So I'm not even going to bring that into the equation here. She stayed down in CMLL.
Mm-hmm.
She embraced the culture, as she says, and they loved having her as part of that, right. Yeah. So Curvin, I believe, if I'm mispronouncing that, I apologize, but yeah, she dated Ricochet too. I look at this and I'm like, is she really racist? I can see, people throughout the tests of time, you've heard about this person maybe not liking this person in the world of professional wrestling.
Called heat.
It's gonna happen forever. Attitudes are gonna happen. There's egos. That's why people get into the world of professional wrestling. They think they can do a certain thing, and you got to build yourself up and whatever. I really don't think she is racist, and if I don't know all the facts, then I don't know I don't know all the facts. But from what I've seen and what I've heard, look, they wouldn't let her back if there was that big of an issue with her. It's a different company. You got different people in charge now. From when, the stuff happened, pre-pandemic when she left and all that other goofy stuff that happened with her and the title and whatnot. She's insanely talented, and I've got to believe that she's grown as an individual, and that's all we can hope for in the company of TNA. But she's also wrestled against, different ethnicities on the indie scene, trying to get her reputation back, so it's like,
and Mexico, according
we're not all racist, by the way, but anyways.
Anyway, what Conan also said is that CMLL is not an easy promotion to work for, because they are very set in their ways, and it's either their way or the highway. And I do too believe so. It's got to be frustrating working in that kind of environment where maybe you have a good idea, and they don't want to listen to it. But either way, I'm hoping that she's grown from this and she can move on from this, and maybe she'll take time out to do some sort of charitable work. Maybe she'll donate some money somewhere very silently, to make people happy or to make anyone happy. I don't know. I don't know what the situation is between her and TNA. All I know is that she's back in TNA. TNA desperately needs her, and we've at some point we've got to move on from this.
Exactly.
And
it's like how many times are you? Well, and it's I'll throw the Hogan thing in here too. It's like, how many do people are like, well, you have to apologize? How many times are people supposed to apologize? Are you supposed to wake up every day and apologize? Are you supposed to go to bed every night and apologize?
Well, the thing is, you have to apologize. He hasn't.
But
let's.
But you also have to sincerely apologize.
Well, right.
You have to mean it. You can't just say, "Hey, I'm sorry," and let's move on. No, you got to fucking mean it. And if anybody should apologize and mean it, it should be Tessa. If she said it, I don't know if she said it or not. Hogan definitely should. But either way, Max.
Yeah, let's all love each other. Let's leave it at that. Let's all love each other no matter what. It should not matter. Wrestling fans, music fans, it doesn't matter.
Right.
Love each other. Let's go on.
And the point I was making, part of my point is that it goes back to communication.
Yeah.
They knew that there was people in their locker room that had issues with her because of the previous incidents, and they didn't communicate with them that they were in talks to re-sign her. They let them find out after it was signed. That's why you got some of the reactions you did. Communication is very important, especially in a business like this one.
No. Yeah, and I mean, we could talk about this. We could sit here and talk about this all day.
And we are all very opinionated, so
And
this
we
could
are-
go in a lot of directions.
I mean, that's
All
the world,
very
and it would be very stale if we weren't. However,
But I think we all agree on one thing. Racism is bullshit. Don't be a fucking racist. Let's move on to some Royal Rumble predictions, shall we? Let's lighten up the mood just a little bit. The 38th annual Royal Rumble, emanating from the Lucas Oil Stadium in Indianapolis, Indiana. And this, fellas, marks the first Rumble not to take place in the month of January. I don't know if you knew that.
I was wondering that too. Yeah.
Yeah.
When is it normally?
They usually air, I think, around this time. Honestly, I think closer to the end of January.
It's somewhere in January.
Yeah, somewhere in January that they've usually aired these Royal Rumbles. I know our historian is probably looking it up right now. But
no, it's always been in January towards the end of the month.
Okay. So the event airs on Peacock.
No.
As well. Oh, go ahead.
That is not true. There was one Rumble that did not take place in January. It actually took place at WrestleMania, and that was the very first Royal Rumble.
Oh, can we? I mean, I'm talking about the PLEs.
Well,
I mean, I'm talking about the PLEs. I'm not talking about the Royal Rumble that took place at Mania, because that's Mania. Yeah. So the event airs live on Peacock as well as traditional pay-per-view and on Netflix in select markets. So, fellas, let's get on with our predictions, shall we?
Yeah.
Start.
I'm going to 2 seconds. I'm typing right now.
Okay. We're
like I usually do for all of our predictions.
By the way, while we're pausing and waiting for Max, thank you for the new subscriber. We definitely appreciate you. Please subscribe to our channel. Let YouTube know that you like what we do and like our videos, and share our videos out with your friends and your family and your loved ones. Tell them if they're a wrestling fan, if they're an entertainment fan. We bring both of those things to the table. We like to talk. We like to ramble. We like to pick on each other because we're brothers, and we like to talk about wrestling. So, Max, what do you got, man?
I'm just typing up the list like I always do so that I can put our predictions on here.
Okay, yeah. So Max is typing out the list. So what we do is when we give our predictions, Max keeps tally of what our predictions are. And I believe, Baron, you weren't here for our other prediction show. I think that was for TNA.
Yeah, no, I missed that one.
Yeah, you missed that one. So I'm glad you're here for Royal.
I think we need to start putting some money on these predictions. And, maybe a free meal at Culver's or
You've already
a pack or
your Culver's. You've already had your Culver's. You don't need any more.
You already received the cheese curds.
I want more. Damn it!
Despite the recent backstabbing of you two, you three come to Colorado and visit. We'll go hit the Culver's by my house. We'll go hit the dispensary up the street for Baron, and we'll have some fun. We'll go check out Estes Park or something.
You had me at dispensary.
There is no Culver's by your house.
There is. I'm going to look that up. I'm going to Google it. By the way, Colorado has the best pot from what I hear.
I mean, I can actually have a 4-hour, 5-hour podcast about cannabis, and it no longer does. So, but we'll keep that up for another time.
So, okay, I'm gonna name off some of the locations. And best friend, I don't know exactly where you live in Colorado. You don't have to tell me, but I'm going to name off some of the locations in Culver's for Colorado, and just tell me if I'm close, okay?
Okay.
Montrose.
Nope.
Colorado Springs.
Nope.
Loveland.
Nope.
Lakewood.
Nope.
Westminster.
That's close, but that's not the one by me.
Grand Junction.
Oh, that's 4 hours away.
Littleton.
Nope.
Centennial.
Nope.
Rifle.
Nope.
Aurora.
No.
Longmont.
No.
Denver.
No.
Thornton.
Yes.
Aha! We got it. So, yeah. J-Bone, there is a Culver's in Thornton, Colorado that is right next to Max's house. So, Nana Nana Boo Boo, stick your head in doo-doo. My best friend's better than you, too.
Courtney, where are you at? State. What's the
I think she's in Boston, I think.
Okay.
Boston.
Have they legalized it there? Yes, they have, yeah. Okay, well, I know where I'm going. Boston.
Boston, eh?
Boston.
Going to Boston. All right, well, let's go to these Ramblers, if I can get my Bostonian accent here. I think, you know what? I think we're going to start with my best friend here.
Me? Okay.
No, not you, traitor. We're going to start with Mr. Max Mages.
All right.
So, Max, we're going to start with the men's Royal Rumble match, all right? This is a 30-man Royal Rumble match for a shot at the World Championship match at WrestleMania 41. Now, I'm going to name off some of the people that we know who have already entered the Rumble, but I also want to know who you think will surprise us. So here are some names for you. LA Knight, yeah. John Cena, CM Punk, Jey Uso, Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, Drew McIntyre, Rey Mysterio, Sami Zayn, Shinsuke Nakamura, Logan Paul, Penta, Chad Gable, Braun Breaker, and Carmelo Hayes have all entered the Rumble that we know of, with some possible surprises. So, Max, who do you think is going to win the Rumble?
A lot of people are going to hate this answer, and a lot of you are going to be like, yeah, that sounds about right. I honestly think, first off, I think we are going to see 31 entrants this year. I think that little joke that's been floating around, I think it's true. Because I think what's going to happen is after number 30 comes out, I think we're going to see Mr. Board of Directors himself come out and say, I'm in the match. And he's going to join the Royal Rumble as number 31.
Oh.
So The Rock is who I'm calling for that. But the winner of the Rumble, I think WWE foreshadowed it by calling this the last time ever. I think Cena's winning the Rumble.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, God, that's good. That's really good. All right. So for the women's Royal Rumble match, 30 women will enter the match for a women's world championship match at WrestleMania 41. Here are some of the ladies that have already entered: Nia Jax, Bayley, Charlotte Flair, Naomi, Bianca Belair, Liv Morgan, Raquel Rodriguez, Lyra Valkyria, Ivy Nile, and Io Sky have all entered the Rumble that we know of, with some possible surprises. So again, Max, who do you think is going to win the Rumble for the women's side, and who do you think will surprise us?
All right.
Hard, I know.
This one's a little tougher to call because they've only announced 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We've only got a third of the women that are going to be in this official. I'm going to start by saying I don't see Lyra winning it. They just put a title on her. I also don't see Chelsea Green winning because they just put that title on her. This is tough. Let me go to my surprise entrant first, and I'll come back to who I think is going to win. We recently saw reports that Alexa Bliss has had her return pushed back indefinitely.
Yep.
The rumor is that the two sides could not come to an agreement. I think that this was a fake leak by the WWE and by Alexa's camp, because people like Meltzer like to get out there and tell everybody what's going on before time. And I think that they have come to an agreement, and I think Alexa will be a surprise entrant this Saturday at the Royal Rumble. I also think I also think that Nikki Cross will be in this match as a surprise entrant. And I didn't tell you my men's surprises that I wrote down. So let me tell you those real quick. I have Joe Hendry, obviously, Ethan Page, and I put the Wyatts down as surprise entrants.
Okay.
Because that hasn't been announced that they're going to be in it.
Right. Yeah.
And Mir, I kind of agree with what you're saying about the women. I think Jordynne Grace is going to be in the Rumble, but I don't think that I'm going to consider that a surprise entrant because we knew her contract with WWE was coming. We knew they were going to make sure she was signed in time for the Rumble. I think that foreshadowed the fact she was going to be there, so I can't treat her like a... You know what? I'm calling Jordynne Grace the women's winner.
Oh, wow. Okay. Oh, wow. That went like dramatic. That was a dramatic shift.
Bold statement there.
Wow, that's a very bold statement. All right, Max. Cody Rhodes versus Kevin Owens in a ladder match for the undisputed WWE Championship. The undisputed and winged Eagle Championship belts will be suspended above the ring. Who do you got?
So I know KO thinks Sammy's going to help him, and these accidents these last couple weeks almost make it seem like it's possible, but I don't think Sammy's helping him. I don't think KO is taking the title this weekend. I think Cody's going to retain. I think we will see. I think KO's going to have a title in the future. I just don't think it's happening this Saturday. I think Cody's going to get up there and pull both belts down.
Okay. Yeah. And the last match here that I've got, DIY, Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa, who are the tag champions, versus the Motor City Machine Guns. 2 out of 3 falls match for the WWE Tag Team Championships. Who do you got, Max?
Oh, man. This is one of the, and I don't mean like this is a terrible match. This is one of the worst matchups they could have done because these two teams are phenomenal. I love both. I never want to see either one have to lose. Since KO and Cody, since I've predicted that title doesn't change hands, I'm going to say Motor City Machine Guns are going to take this title.
Ooh.
All right. Yeah. Let's move on to J-Bone. J-Bone, let's get into it. The men's Royal Rumble match, the 30-man Royal Rumble match for a shot at the World Championship at WrestleMania 41. Again, I'll go over some of the names that we know so far. LA Knight, John Cena, CM Punk, Jey Uso, Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, Drew McIntyre, Rey Mysterio, Sami Zayn, Shinsuke Nakamura, Logan Paul, Penta, Chad Gable, Braun Breaker, and Carmelo Hayes that we know who have entered. So who do you think is going to win, and who do you think is going to surprise us?
Man, and this is one of those things where there's so many guys being discussed that are like on the top of the card in the men's division right now. That are, I mean, it's one thing for me. It's one thing for them to say, "Hey, I'm going in, I'm going to be in the Royal Rumble." It's another thing to have one of the longest running feuds or to be in a position where you've been consistently in a top rated feud in the company for several months in a row or, within the last year. Guys like Drew McIntyre, Seth Rollins, CM Punk coming back from injury and has been on a roll now. You got John Cena doing his last shtick for the year. And I don't mean that as an insult. I'm just saying, it's his last year. He's, so this is tough. I love what they're doing with the several storylines though, because you had like Punk last night talking to Cody. You've got KO working side by side with Sammy, which is like, it doesn't feel, as authentic as it has in the past. It's, I feel like Kevin Owens is looking for a shoe in to, get that title, and then, tit for tat. You scratch my back, I'll scratch yours. There's so many things going on. It's so tough. Because I've gone back and forth with this over the last several weeks. Like, oh, there it is. There's the winner. Oh, no, maybe.
Yeah.
Can I say 2 as a tie? Because it's so hard.
Max, you're the record keeper. What do you say?
So you're saying we're gonna have a WrestleMania 10 at the end of the Royal Rumble?
No. I'm just throwing out 2 different options because there's so many to choose from that are like actually significant. I'm not saying we're gonna get a double winner. No. I'm not saying that.
I'll allow it.
Okay.
I'm gonna say.
Let me say this: since I'm allowing it for J-Bone, if anybody else wants to throw out a second pick for the Rumbles, I'll allow that as well. But I'm standing by mine.
Okay.
All
right.
Is there extra points involved or what?
If one of your 2 picks wins, you get that point.
Oh, okay.
Loading rights.
It's a half a point. No,
I was gonna say it's like the second option has to be less.
I'm gonna say my picks are CM Punk and Sami Zayn.
Okay.
God, it's hard. It's like, and yet part of me wants to throw John Cena in there too, but I can't. I'm like, I'm keeping it to what I said. CM Punk or Sami Zayn. Because I really see prominence there, but you never know. As far as surprises, I think I think Joe Hendry is certainly an option. Some people I've heard say, Nick Nemeth's, because he's had a very successful year as TNA champ. He's in tremendous shape. Why not? I think he'd get a hell of a pop. Maybe not as big as Joe Hendry, but I think the old Ziggler would get a hell of a pop.
Yeah.
As far as anyone else,
entrance music,
it's tough, man. It's tough. I'm trying to think of like some. I'm not going to go the Legends route. I know some people are in the chat are saying Goldberg and stuff like that. And Goldberg is always going to be one of my favorites, but I don't see it happening. If it does happen, whatever. But yeah, I'd say Joe Hendry, and I'll probably come up with more, as the week goes on, depending on what I see in the news, and you hear little things and whatever. But yeah, it's I don't think we're going to get like a Kevin Nash or anything like that.
Right. Yeah. Let's move on to the women's Royal Rumble match. The 30
Great,
women.
T-Bone, you just caused Nash to tear his quad.
Oh, yeah, I apologize. Just send them down to Columbia. I hear they have wonderful doctors down there.
Yes, right. Yeah. Let's move on to the women's Royal Rumble match. The 30 women Royal Rumble match for a women's world championship match at WrestleMania 41. Some of the women that we already know: Nia Jax, Bayley, Charlotte Flair, Naomi, Bianca Belair, Liv Morgan, Raquel Rodriguez, Lyra Valkyria, Ivy Nile, and Io Sky that we know have entered the Royal Rumble. Who do you think is going to win, and who do you think will surprise us very quickly?
I got to go with surprise. I think we're going to go with well, it's not really a surprise because she's already cut the promo. That's Charlotte Flair. But so it'll be great to see her, but I don't think she's going to win it. I think it's going to be Bianca Belair.
Okay. Bianca Belair. Got it.
Yeah.
All right. Cody Rhodes versus Kevin Owens. So go ahead, Max.
Surprise entrance for the women, J-Bone?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I'll go with I'll say either like a Lita or AJ Lee.
Ooh.
You're on to something.
You're on to something for sure. Yeah. Okay. Cody Rhodes and Kevin Owens for the ladder. I love you, Barry. I love you, Barry.
My bad.
Yeah. That would be hilarious if he just showed up.
Hasn't he done this before too? Like he showed up and they're like, "Hey, stop!"
Yeah, probably.
It was for something. I forget what it was.
Cody Rhodes and Kevin Owens, the ladder match for the undisputed WWE Championship. The undisputed and winged eagle championship belts will be suspended above the ring. Jebone, what do you got?
KO. I love Cody, but man, I'm going KO because I love this story of, number one, I love the feud of him and Cody, and I've listened to KO for months, and shit, man, this is one of the few times I gotta agree with KO, man. I don't blame him for being pissed and upset and having the opinion that he has. I thoroughly back it. And I also love the story about Sami Zayn saying, "Hey, you scratch my back, I'll scratch yours, and we'll headline another WrestleMania." I'm like, fucking A, man. Let's go. Let's do it, man. It's KO's winning.
There you go. Okay. The tag match, DIY, Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa versus the Motor City Machine Guns, 2 out of 3 falls match for the WWE Tag Team Championship. Who do you got, bud?
I gotta go with one of my all-time faves for a tag team, Motor City Machine Guns.
Okay. Baron, it's your turn, buddy.
Oh, baby.
Yeah, let's kick it off at the men's Royal Rumble match, the 30-man Royal Rumble match for the World Championship match at WrestleMania 41. Again, I'll give you the wrestlers that have already entered, just like I did with Max and J-Bone. LA Knight, John Cena, CM Punk, Jey Uso, Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, Drew McIntyre, Rey Mysterio, Sami Zayn, Shinsuke Nakamura, Logan Paul, Penta, Chad Gable, Braun Breaker, and Carmelo Hayes. Now, who do you think is going to win? And who do you think some of the surprises will be?
First off, this entire fucking Rumble is stacked. The winner is 100% John Cena. I don't care what anybody says. And surprise, AJ Styles.
Okay. AJ Styles.
Oh,
yeah. I don't think it's announced, but I think it's also low-key been announced that he is. So AJ Styles. So count that son of a bitch as a fucking surprise, please.
There you go, man. There you go. Let's move on to the women's Royal Rumble match. The 30 women Royal Rumble match. The women's World Championship match again to WrestleMania 41. Some of the wrestlers so far: Nia Jax, Bayley, Charlotte Flair, Naomi, Bianca Belair, Liv Morgan, Raquel Rodriguez, Lyra Valkyria, Ivy Nile, and Io Sky. Who do you think is going to win, and who are some of the surprises?
Yeah, this one's hard, actually.
It is.
I think Charlotte Flair is going to win. I think that's definitely a lock. And I'm going to go with AJ Lee as a surprise. I want to see it. I think it could happen now. So yeah, I'm going to go with AJ Lee. I think that'd be fucking amazing, actually.
That would be awesome. Yeah, no, that would be really cool. Really cool. Guys,
yes.
In
the chat.
Hi, Joe.
Hi, Joe. What's going on, buddy? Let's see. Cody Rhodes and Kevin Owens, the ladder match in the for the undisputed WWE Championship. The undisputed and winged eagle championship belts will be suspended above the ring.
I don't even need to think about this. Cody Rhodes. Move on.
All right. Yeah.
I would love for Kevin Owens to win, but like Cody Rhodes is the guy. So
yeah. Right. DIY, Johnny Gargano and Motor City Machine Guns for the 2 out of 3 falls match for the tag team championships.
I think this has the possibility of being like the match of the night wrestling style. So I'm gonna go with Motor City on this one.
All right. Well, that does mean that it is my turn for predictions. So for the men's Royal Rumble match, the 30-man Royal Rumble match for the World Championship match at WrestleMania 41, you know what, man? I'm gonna say, I'm definitely gonna say either John Cena will win the Rumble, or CM Punk. But I don't think CM Punk will win. I think he's going to get another title shot down the road. So, Max, if I can replace CM Punk, I'm going to go with Jey Uso.
So you want Cena or Uso? You're saying?
I think it's going to be either Cena. I definitely think it's going to be Cena, but I think Jey Uso just gets slept on a lot, kind of like what Kervin was saying. And it got me to thinking, I'm like, well, it's been a while since Jey has actually won anything of significance. So I'm going to go with either John Cena or Jey Uso, because I think if we put CM Punk as a winner at that Royal Rumble match, I just think CM Punk's going to have some other feud down the road. He's going to get another title shot down the road, maybe with
let's not forget there's also going to be the Elimination Chamber, so there's going to be some options in there.
And I think Gunther is going to fall to Seth Rollins, and that's going to be a match between Seth Rollins and CM Punk. I'm just saying that might be in the future.
Yeah.
But some of the surprises that I think for the Royal Rumble, The Rock, maybe because of Cena, maybe Triple H. I don't know. I don't foresee it happening for sure, but maybe Triple H. Definitely, I see Joe Hendry. Definitely, because I believe Joe. I believe if you're still in the chat,
Triple H has some heart issues, though. I don't think he's getting in.
Yeah. I mean, hey, Triple H is
my dope, though.
So, I mean, Triple H is my guy. So that I can always wish. For the women's Royal Rumble match, the 30 women Royal Rumble match for the Women's World Championship match at WrestleMania 41. I just can't say that Charlotte Flair will win, but I'm going to put Charlotte Flair as my first pick. And damn it, because Baron is here, I got to go with Liv Morgan. But that doesn't mean you're still not a traitor. Surprises, though. I got to go with Trish Stratus. Possibility.
Ooh, Stratusfaction.
Yeah. Lita. I mean, because Lita's been part of WWE for a while, and she's current. Yeah.
So you're putting HLA back together. I like it. I like it a lot.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
There's also the fact that AJ Lee maybe, because I think fans would love to see it. And then somebody else said Mickie James, and I thought, well, shit, why not? Mickie James could come out and be a surprise entrant for.
Oh, you know what? She's supposed to be in that new show that's on A&E on Sundays, where it's kind of like a gut check kind of show. It's like, training hard and getting that spot. What was the old? Oh, it's like a Tough Enough show. It's kind of like that, but it's called LFG, Legends and Future Gangsters, or wait, no, something Legends like and let's effing go. I don't know.
Yeah, something like that. So yeah, I think those will be my surprises, and I think either it will be Liv Morgan or Charlotte Flair. For Cody Rhodes and Kevin Owens for the ladder match for the Undisputed WWE Championship. Again, that Undisputed Championship and Winged Eagle Championship belt will be suspended above the ring. I don't think this feud is over. Definitely going to think it's going to be Cody, because Cody is the face of the company, and they're not going Cody's not going anywhere. And finally, DIY, Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa versus the Motor City Machine Guns, Alex Shelley and Chris Sabin. Dude, I'm going to tell you right now, I really do believe that Motor City Machine Guns are going to get back their titles. I really think the Motor City Machine Guns are going to retain their titles, man.
It's like, hey, these guys are they're not at the start of their career. Let's be honest, they've been doing this for 20 plus years. Mm-hmm. Maybe not necessarily as a tag team, but just in the industry itself. Yeah, absolutely, man. Yeah. Give them a WrestleMania win, for crying out loud.
Absolutely.
Yeah, they've been around for so long and they're so damn good.
They are. That's the thing is they didn't bring them in and it's like, they're stinking up the place. No, man, they're the best freaking tag team in the damn company now.
Yeah,
it's
crazy.
They're really, really, really good.
Absolutely. So there you go. Those are our predictions. Let us know in the chat and the comments who you think is going to win this year's Royal Rumble and who you think is going to win the rest of the matches, either for the women's or the men's. And
it's the best time of the fucking year, man.
Really?
Royal Rumble is the best pay-per-view, PLE, or whatever you want to call it. There is.
We're on the road to WrestleMania, man.
So I added Masha to my list of possible surprise entrants in the Women's Rumble. Okay. Since Jordynne is actually signed with the WWE, that leaves the spot she filled last year open for someone to fill. I'm thinking Masha is that person. The other thing is the Royal Rumble where Truth came out during the Women's Rumble was actually last year, 2024. And then I have a question for you, gentlemen, and viewers, please feel free to answer this.
Go ahead.
So with there being now 4 unique rosters for them to choose from, that they have a lot of talent on between Raw, SmackDown, NXT, TNA. Even if we don't count TNA, but we have to because of the cross-promotional stuff. But even if we don't count TNA, we have a huge roster. Do you think that the WWE would benefit from increasing the number of participants in both Rumbles, especially if they decide to take Rumble to a 2-night format like the other big pay-per-views or PLEs?
I think that if they took it to a 2-night format, that might be a better option because if you have too many men in that Rumble, it's just going to be a huge clusterfuck.
I'm talking both men and women.
Yeah, I know. And it's going to be, if you have too many men and women in that Rumble, other than the 30 that you've already, or the 31 that you've already agreed to have in that ring, it would just be a clusterfuck. And I think fans would get confused real quick. And I don't think it would go over very well. But I'm interested in just hearing Baron and J-Bone's opinion. Let's start with Baron.
I think it would be cool to see more than 30. I think that'd be interesting, but I agree. I think it would be a cluster fuck of some sort that wouldn't mesh well. You know what I'm saying? It's always been like 30. I think there's been a couple times where it's been more than 30. But I feel like it'd be good, but also I don't know. That's actually a really good question. Now I'm thinking about it.
Yeah.
Because the roster is so stacked. Like there's so many people that it's not going to get the opportunity. Man, I think it would be better if there was like another Royal Rumble for something else other than the title, maybe for WrestleMania, because that is very sacred. That is sacred ground. I wouldn't want to see 60 people be thrown into that particular match.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just seems like way too many people. But yeah, that's actually a really good question. I'm gonna have to actually think of that.
J-Bone, what do you think, man?
I don't know. I mean, the matches, the Royal Rumble match itself has been what I'm trying to think of, like the average time is like an hour or less, I think, isn't it? because the record time that someone's been in the ring has been close to an hour or 50 some minutes, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
Somewhere around there.
Somewhere in that ballpark. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, I understand the thing about, like Mayor said in the chat, 40 men, and I couldn't remember the year. He said it's 2011. I thought it was later than that, but whatever. I guess he's doing 40 once in a while.
Good night, Courtney.
Yeah, good night, Courtney. Well,
thanks for tuning in.
I don't know, man. I say keep it to one night. And you start extending this and adding. These matches are exhausting as there is, and they're a lot of fun. Yeah. But yeah, I say keep it to 30. I'm a little. I don't know. I've watched these all my life, and I say just keep it to 30.
It gets to be like too much. I mean, there's already 30 people coming out, and that I think 30 is just the sweet spot, honestly.
I look at it like it's kind of reserved for the people that have been really, I mean, it's not always that, but for the people that have like really busted their ass the prior year, and get a handful of surprises in there. And I feel like it's a reward,
but I also see, where Max is coming from and getting the people that maybe you don't see necessarily on TV a lot, getting their time to shine in the Royal Rumble. But yeah, I agree with what J-Bone said. It's who's ever busted their ass for the company and really made a name for themselves, who's really just over, who's going to get that, who needs a little bit of heat, with the fans. If you're a heel trying to get that heat, I think we just need to keep it at 30. And if not 30, we need to make it a 2-night event,
Well, yeah, and I was thinking you have one main event Saturday and one main event Sunday.
Yeah.
2011 did have a 40-man. There was a bigger, it wasn't actually Royal Rumble. It was Greatest Royal Rumble. It was the Saudi Arabia Rumble. They had 50 people in that Rumble. You're damn right, Mir. That's exactly how it would end.
Yes.
Thanks a lot. I do not want to go over the top rope.
I mean, it's the Ramblers Rumble. You don't got a choice.
My best friend wouldn't put me over the top rope.
No, but J-Bone's scrappy for an old guy. So while you and Baron are eliminating each other, I couldn't get there to save you because I was busy getting J-Bone out.
Yeah.
Scrappy for it. Oh, I love that. Scrappy for an old guy. I don't know if that's good or bad.
Oh my. Well, that is the show for this evening. Thank you so much for tuning in. We greatly appreciate it. And we are up to 220 subscribers. Thank you so much for all of those wonderful subscribers. And we appreciate you. If you are new here, please go check out some of the shorts that we've uploaded from previous shows. Check out previous shows. Tell your friends about us. Please hit the subscribe button if you have not yet. Hit the like on the video. That tells YouTube that you like what we're doing and suggests our video to other people. We appreciate you very, 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 very much. With that being said, let's give our socials and get the hell out of here. J-Bone, how can they follow you, sir?
You can find me on the old Twitter box for promoting all things that we do, whether it's with the Ramblers or Total Nonstop Impact at JBone5150. And you can also find me Thursday nights back with my old crew at Total Nonstop Impact, talking all things TNA.
And best friend, I'm sorry I didn't start it off with you. I'm so sorry about that, man.
Oh, no, you're absolutely fine. Listen, Terrence, I appreciate that. But no, thank you and all the viewers, because without you guys, we wouldn't have a show. There'd be no reason. I mean, we'd just be sitting here talking to each other.
Yep.
And so we appreciate you guys for being here. You can find me at Max Magus. In fact, please do. Please seek me out after you watch this and give me your opinion on whether the Rumbles should expand and include more people. I would love to hear from you over on Twitter. You can also find my nerd podcast at Our Shots Podcast. We're on almost all the podcast platforms that you can find. The website for that is random-shots.net. And the first part of the 2025 Nerd Madness has been recorded. It's working on being edited. We will get back into the studio to complete the Nerd Madness very soon.
Ooh, that's exciting. Super exciting. Baron, how can they follow you since you don't put your socials up on your thing?
Well, you're right about that. On Twitter or X, whatever we're going to call it these days, Scumbag Jordynne with three N's. Yeah.
There you go. And you can follow the show anywhere that you are on Facebook at Ramblers Unleashed. Search for that. Give us a like. You can also find us on X at The Ramblers Pod. Of course, like our channel, subscribe to the YouTube page, and go over on a Twitch too, and subscribe over there as well as we try to configure things and make things more exciting for 2025. We're definitely we're in that thought process. So it's good times, and we're really, really, really excited for this new venture into a brand new year. And we get to talk about professional wrestling with you guys, and I get to talk about pro wrestling with three of my best friends, even though the other two are traitors. Yeah. Anyway, please, again, subscribe to the channel, like the videos, like this video, and enjoy the Royal Rumble. Unfortunately, I'm going to miss it live, so I'm going to have to watch it on a playback.
What? We're not doing a live
I know.
show?
No, you guys.
No, I got to work.
Yeah,
What are you going to do, man?
doggone it. Yeah, so
Nice.
no
Actually,
review show.
We're having company over for the first time in like 4 years.
Wow. So no
Wow.
review show. I will be in Indiana, but not at the PLE.
We'll talk about it on the following Tuesday.
We will talk about it on Tuesday. We will discuss some of the fallout of Royal Rumble, and we hope you join us next Tuesday. And until then, please enjoy professional wrestling for what it is. Go out and watch professional wrestling, whether it be a professional or an indies. And we will talk to you next Tuesday. Enjoy the Rumble. We'll see you.
Thanks for tuning in to Ramblers Unleashed. Follow the show on social media, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and click the bell icon for notifications of upcoming episodes.